Hello and welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. As always, a great show planned for you tonight. In hour two, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to be talking to Mega. That's right. If you're looking for an alternative to things like Dropbox, Google Drive, I mean, this is really interesting. We're going to be talking about their Mega Chat, and we have the company's CEO, Graham Gaillard, here with us tonight. He is in Auckland.
1 minute until showtime.
You'll see the beautiful view if you're watching our video behind them. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we begin a Tuesday edition of the Computer America program.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And this is Jasmine here.
And the show has been taken over by a furry creature from Mars, yes.
Furry creature from Mars, exactly. But welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. In hour two, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. The lights just went out. So, as I said, we have a great program planned for you. Now, if you have a comment, question for our guests, or anything having to do with Computer America, you can give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. 8881 will get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive chat room at computeramerica.com from our homepage at computeramerica.com. You'll see it says chat and live video. Just click the button and you'll get a split screen. On the left-hand side, there's the entry form for our chat room. It'll ask you for a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the connect button, and your browser will move you into the Computer America chat room. It's just that simple. And also, on the right-hand side of that very same page is our live Computer America video streaming page. That's right. Not only can you listen to Computer America, you can also watch us. We have live video streaming that activates when you go there. So it's very simple to do. You don't have to do anything. It just starts up automatically. Not only can you listen to Computer America, you can actually watch us. You can see myself, you can see Ben, and many times you can be able to see our guest. Our guest is in Auckland, New Zealand tonight, and you'll see behind him a beautiful window, and you can see it's a bright, sunny day there, and it looks lovely.
A beautiful vista, not to be confused with the Windows Vista, which has caused so many nightmares.
Exactly. So we're going to get to him shortly. So Ben, anything else going on that we need to?
Yes, glad you asked. We celebrated a birthday today, and as part of the Computer America family, he is our webmaster and our what's a delicate way to put this?
Executive.
Biological brother?
Yes, he is your brother. Yes.
Happy to you. Happy birthday, dear
Aaron.
Anyways.
birthday to you.
Yeah. So, yes, it is our webmeister's and executive producer's birthday.
Yeah.
He turns
12.
yes 12. There we go. 12 again, or 26, one of those two. And yeah, we wish him the best.
Yes, we do. Yes, from all of us here. All right. So that said, I think we should get started. I'm excited to talk to our guest here about this product. As I said, it's called Mega, and Mega is a cloud storage with powerful always-on privacy. Mega provides robust cloud storage with convenient and powerful always-on privacy. They believe in your right to privacy and provide you with the technology tools to protect it. They call it user-controlled encryption, or UCE, and it happens automatically. See, all files stored on Mega are encrypted. All data transfers from and to Mega are encrypted. And while most cloud storage providers can and do claim the same, Mega is different. Unlike the industry norm where the cloud storage provider holds the decryption key, with Mega, you control the encryption. You hold the keys, and you decide who you grant or deny access to your files without requiring any risky software installs. And it's all happening in your web browser. Now, here with us tonight is Graham Gaillard, the CEO of Mega Limited. Graham, welcome into Computer America. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Good evening to Craig. It's still a bright sunny day here, though, so it's hard for me to say good evening.
Yes, I understand. I'm looking behind you, and it looks quite lovely. That city we're looking at is Auckland, New Zealand?
That's right. That's Auckland, New Zealand. It's been a beautiful sunny day here, and the bay has been, and harbour has been absolutely flat. There's been a lot of boats out on there celebrating what is the end of summer here.
Yeah. Now, you see, again, I was being stereotypical, and I heard that you're going to be calling us from New Zealand. I expected to see, like, Lord of the Rings mountains behind.
Well, I can just turn my camera around and show you out the other window and probably show you something similar to that.
I mean, it's when they filmed that series for that movie. I mean, that was all in New Zealand.
Yeah, they really didn't have to do much post-production on New Zealand to make it look that good.
No, it was absolutely gorgeous, absolutely, and I'm quite envious that you live in such a beautiful, beautiful area. So, Graham, welcome into the show, and you heard my introduction to Mega. I don't know if it was accurate or not, but why don't you, in your own words, tell the listeners what Mega is all about? What does Mega do?
Yeah, I think your intro was pretty accurate. I guess what Mega's done from the start is privacy is by design and not policy based. So everything we do at Mega, the design, all the infrastructure, the technology, the coding, is all set up to provide privacy from the get-go, all controlled by the end user, as opposed to some sort of policy decision whereby we'll take your data and actually you have to rely on our internal policies and procedures to make sure that your data is safe and it's not read by anyone or copied. So that's a key kind of overarching aspect that we kind of live under at everything we do at Mega. But you're dead right. Essentially, the user controls their own encryption keys at Mega. Information is encrypted on the client, which is whether it's your iPhone or Android phone or web browser or a native client on Linux. Information is encrypted there before it's even sent down the wire to our servers. So nothing that leaves your Mega application is unencrypted, and that encryption keys is only stored locally through a password access, and basically it's totally under your control. And unfortunately, that means that if you lose your password and you can't remember and you haven't backed up your master key, unfortunately your information is gone.
Wow.
That must make customer support really easy.
Absolutely. I'm afraid any other provider that can reset your password, and that's a real test. If someone claims encryption but can reset your password, then you don't have full control over everything. It's that simple.
Now, Graham, again, my apologies. I evidently been mispronouncing it. It's not Mega, it's Mega. Is that correct?
That's probably my accent.
That's fine. Now, does it stand for anything in particular? Is it an acronym, or is it just?
No, it's not an acronym. It's just the name that the original founders have come up with to push out.
Okay, good. All right. So then, how would you differ, let's say, from Dropbox or Box or Google Drive or any of these services out there? How do you differ?
Well, our catch cry is we are the privacy company. So although our first and largest product so far is cloud storage, we actually have other products that are online now in beta, and we'll be introducing more products. But essentially, we're in a different market segment where our sole aim is to give the world back its privacy and allow users individually to take back and take ownership of their privacy and their data. So that's where we're coming from. Cloud storage is the first application that we've done, and it's been extremely successful and extremely well received. Our growth is just literally phenomenal. But essentially, what we want to do is make privacy the default on position for everyone. And so our product roadmap will be looking at building out applications which support the common things that users do and collaborate with, but in a completely secure and private manner.
Now, when you go to your website, it's quite simple. I mean, all you see is a big red circle with a white M in it. So it's and that's it with a little finger pointing to it. And if you hover over that, it says just to select some files or drag and drop anywhere on the page. So when I take a file and I drag it to that white and red M, that's basically all I have to do? Absolutely.
So we have a trial system built into the website, which means that users can actually try out Mega from their browser session without actually signing up and disclosing any private information to us whatsoever, like their email address. So typically a lot of people will try out the service, really like it, and then they'll convert that to a full-blown Mega account.
That is very, very different. I mean, if you go to most companies' websites, especially ones that want to store data, your email address is like the first thing they ask for. It's like, hi, how you doing? What's your name and what's your address? Like and yet you guys are willing to go out there and kind of say, you don't even have to trust us with, it's like eventually you will, but right off the get-go, you don't even have to, put in your data.
Yeah, absolutely. There's certain restrictions around that trial account, of course, of what you can do and how much you can upload, but it certainly allows people to have the full user experience of Mega without sort of disclosing anything to us.
Now,
and real quick, just want to make something very, very clear. If our guest accent is not clear enough, the actual website address is mega.co.nz, because if you go to mega.com, as most people are very quick to do, you will not get the right website. It's a website hosted out of New Zealand, like that was, of course, I guess by design.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The New Zealand domain name was chosen on purpose. This is where we're based. This is the head office. Of course, a lot of equipment is around the world, so it's not served out of New Zealand, but certainly the company is based in New Zealand. We also have mega.nz, and we'll be moving to that domain name permanently quite soon, but that's a beta test site that people can go in and use our new tools and services, such as the new MegaChat.
Now, when you, by the way, if you want to try this, or you're not near the computer, just go to computeramerica.com and you click on our show notes page. You'll see today's show, March the 31st, and we have a link directly to the Mega website. It's right there. So, and that stays up for all time. So, if you're looking to try it, or if you can't remember, because it is a little more complex, it's mega.co.nz. If you can't remember that, just go to computeramerica.com. We have the link for you on our show notes page. So at this point, how do you deal with I mean, you're open to any content here, or what are some restrictions that may be involved with this?
Well, the content is provided by users, of course, and that's all encrypted before we see it. But so really, it's up to the user. We have terms and conditions on our site which people must adhere to, and we completely comply with all the worldwide DMCA takedown requests and so forth. So we allow people to store the content that they want, and it's not up to us to decide whether that is their content or something else, but essentially it's their private space. And if we receive takedown notices for content that they've posted up there and pushed out in a public type link, we respond to those very, very quickly and immediately take the content down. Some of our takedowns are we don't get a lot of takedown notices just because of the way the platform is engineered and so forth.
So this is what you mean by infringing content?
Yeah, the infringing content or other types of content, defamatory material, things like that. People can just send us a DMCA takedown request, and it's actioned within normally under 4 hours.
Now, and I guess when you guys are as big on privacy as Mega seems to be, really, if everything is encrypted, point to point, and you guys can't get access to it, and you guys don't, you can't see what it is, you can't validate anything. I mean, I guess whoever issues the takedown has to have some kind of overwhelming evidence, and really, I mean, like, you guys can't, send out some kind of algorithm, some kind of, crawlers or anything like that to look through people's data and kind of say, okay, this is supposed to be here, this isn't supposed to be here. Like, how? Like, there really isn't any way for you guys to differentiate between a group of photos and a movie and files. Like, you can't differentiate that, right?
Well, obviously we can a little bit, because we know that the certain files are a certain file size, and some of the files, for example, have what we call thumbnail attributes. So we know that those files are photos, of which the vast majority of information stored on Mega is photos. We can tell that. The infringing material is interesting because in some countries it's absolutely legal for a user to make a backup of copyrighted material that they've legitimately purchased. But the infringing occurs when people make a public link in those countries and push the public link out to places like Google and so forth. And so typically when we get a DMCA takedown request, it has the link in it with the decryption key. So there's two types of link you can make. You can make a link without the decryption key and send that to your friend, and then send the decryption key through another medium, or you can paste the entire link with the decryption key on the end. So for those ones, once it's out in the public, it's fair game for anyone, and we can see, and those are the links we see and take down immediately. There is a heck of a lot of public links that aren't infringing material, of course. It's just, unfortunately, it's an issue that all cloud storage providers need to deal with, and we deal with it very effectively.
Right.
It's a fine line between, we are the privacy company, and I guess we trust our customers to do the right thing and behave properly, as opposed to let's just sort of mass survey everything and troll through it looking for infringing stuff. It is a fine line. And the second thing is we can't, obviously with everything encrypted, it's very hard to do that.
Right. So you mentioned again this end-to-end encryption, and you say most other cloud service storage providers, your data is encrypted and decrypted during transfer, right? And you do it that way. It's subtle but an important point.
Yeah, typically what happens is that most cloud storage providers provide a secure link to their servers. That's fine. So your data is encrypted in transit on the wire, as it were. However, when it arrives at the cloud storage servers, typically it's unencrypted at that point, as it's come off the wire, unencrypted, and therefore it's initially stored on those servers in an unencrypted fashion. Then most of them provide what's called an at-rest encryption service. So they take the unencrypted file, encrypt it on their servers, and then and then basically store that and throw the unencrypted file away. That means that they obviously have the keys. They can decrypt it at any time, and that's what they do to deliver it back down to you. So that's a security policy by policy. It's not security by design. At any stage, if they wanted to look at any file in detail, they have the master keys. They can decrypt it, and they can look at it.
So, Graham, why did you and everyone at Mega feel that this was necessary? I mean, you obviously you looked at all the cloud services and you said, well, what can we do that's better? I mean, what was the motivation behind all of this?
Well, I think the motivation is pretty clear. Is that security by policy, which is what everyone else runs, can be overridden at any stage by any authority, or any hacker can get the key. So you can have all the policies in the world you like to support your privacy, but someone comes in with a secret subpoena, it's game over. Your policies don't count. Whereas with us, of course, we just don't. We have no way of actually getting to your data. Quite different.
But if someone is doing something that's violating digital rights management or copyright, that they're putting copyrighted information, you say you still don't know. You'd have no way of knowing, or you can kind of infer what it may be. It might be a 2-hour movie, and you have thumbnails to kind of tip off what it might be. Or, go ahead.
We do not know what it is. We know that, just statistically speaking, we did a survey of 24 hours of files uploaded. Well over 99.7% of them were less than 20 megabytes in size, and had these sorts of things have a lot of thumbnail attributes. So we can tell the way our applications work is that most of it's photo storage. So you can infer some things from file sizes, but even when the file sizes get larger, we've got people that purportedly store MRI images and so forth, communicating with doctors. There's a lot of genomic data on there that's being pushed around the place. These are large file sizes, and at the end of the day, it's up to the user to manage what they're doing with the platform. If we see anything, we do not condone piracy. There's no way we condone that. We don't support it. Absolutely not. We cooperate fully with all the DMCA takedown requests, and certainly we support IP rights of things like artists and other copyright holders, and we absolutely despise people using the platform for that sort of activity. I just want to put that out there. There's just no way we put up with that. Where we know it's just taken down instantly. And if people keep repeating, we have a repeat infringer policy, and they're gone off the system and they lose access to the file. So. Yep.
All right, so let's focus on some of the other positive things here. When you have different membership plans, you get 50 gigabytes for free, right? Or you can sign up for one of your pro packages, and you get up to 4 terabytes of encrypted storage, starting, and also 96 terabytes bandwidth, which is you need to explain that to me, because that's that's a lot of bandwidth. The storage I understand. So you create an account. With the free account you get 50 gigabytes, and then you begin at you start at what sizes? What are some of the different accounts that you have?
So 50 gigs we give away for free. We've got tiering after that up to 4 terabytes, as you say, 1, 2, and 4 terabytes. Essentially, most of the users are pushing, sort of between that 50, 200 gigabytes type limit. The bandwidth allows us to restrict bandwidth for people that push up content that there's a lot of accesses to. For example, a lecturer pushes up a set of lecture notes or something like that, or videos of lectures and things like that, and wants to publish that out. Essentially, we have the bandwidth restrictions on that, and we can do that per account who actually owns the file, or per account who's receiving the file. So that's in some ways to stop things getting a little bit out of control.
Right. No. Okay. I understand. So So, and again, they can go to the Mega website and they can see the different account. You can create an account and you can check the different membership plans that are offered. Now, you also have something called a Mega Chat and Mega Email. What are those?
Okay, so Mega Chat is the next product that we're pushing out. It's in beta at the moment. What it is encrypted, user-controlled encryption-based, end-to-end encrypted voice and video chat. So it's like a Skype replacement, but it's encrypted at the client ends. And text chat is being added to that at the moment. And once that's pushed out, we'll probably take it out of beta. That's actually available on the mega.nz site at the moment for trial users. It's been very well received, and people around the world, a lot of people are using it around the world. So that's the next product out of the gate, as it were. And the next one after that, we're working in the design stage at the moment, is fully encrypted email end-to-end user-controlled as well. So in fact, if we look at our products and product roadmap, it's actually quite easy what to choose to do next. All we have to do is take some very popular types of technology and make them private.
Right. Well, that seems to be the pattern. Though, you're taking things that were public and you're adding the additional privacy and security on that and making it your own that way.
Yes.
And I assume now.
We've had this conversation many times on the show. Craig taking a different one than perhaps myself, but just because you want to hide something doesn't mean you have to or something like that. But I mean, you guys are huge on privacy. Obviously, you don't condone anything bad, but you still feel that privacy is, especially to internet users, like a right that is lately just been trampled over by so many organizations. Here in America, we have a lovely little organization called the NSA. And there are many other programs and government agencies out around the world that are kind of making it their job to catalog everyone's online business. So you guys actually, up on your website, you have a quote here that I'm not really sure where it's from, but it seems that, at least to you guys, very important to display it loud and proud on your website, being no one shall.
The quote is from the Declaration of Human Rights.
That's it. So no one shall be subjected to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, or home, or correspondence. Anyone has the right to the protection of the law against such interference. And I guess that's really the heart of what you guys are doing.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right. It's not just perhaps some government agencies, but your privacy is invaded in lots of ways that you don't know about. System administrators on your average mail server, for example, have pretty much unfettered access to all the mail that's coming in and going. So it's your information is available in a lot of places, and it's really only guarded by policy decisions of the organisation. But certainly, we think that privacy is worth fighting for. It's gone too far, and the situation at the moment, and I think the world needs privacy. People, no one's really got anything to hide. That's actually not the issue. But there sure are a lot of things that people want to keep private, and I think that's where we come in. If you're doing something unsavory or bad, there is a court process and a judiciary process to deal with that. And if you've got information on your servers that needs to be looked at because of that situation, there's a court order that can go and basically force you to give up your master key or your password. That's a standard process in every democratic country in the world, and we think that should be adhered to, and it shouldn't be bypassed. And so the situation kind of builds from there, I guess, is what we're up to, why we're doing it.
Yeah. Actually, I think Ben is very secretive and has lots to hide. But
Not that I have to hide. I like to hide. It's
well,
safe.
that's right.
It's safe.
All right, we're close to the bottom of the hour, Graham, and we're going to do a couple of commercial messages and then bring back to you. But one of the things that I want to ask you when we come back is Kim.com. I understand that was involved with Omega, and I want to ask you, what's happened there, and if he's still involved with that or not, and
Sure.
and also ask you some other questions about the staff, where where you're based out of, and some of the other products that you have as well.
Right.
And we'll do that. So anyway, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. While you're at ComputerAmerica.com, make sure that you've entered in all of our contests. Just go under the the Interact menu. It's right there under the pull-down menus at ComputerAmerica.com, and check out all of our contests. We have our Logitech contest where we give away 3 great prizes from Logitech, and our show reminder winner of the week. It's every Friday. We give a Logitech T650 glass wireless touchpad valued at $80. Every Friday we give one away. All you have to do is subscribe to our weekly email newsletter. It's free. There's no obligation. And when you do so, that's the only publication in the universe that tells you who's going to be on the show for the entire week. All right, it gives you who's going to be on, what the topics are. And again, it's all private and free. And from that list of subscriber names, we draw that winning name every Friday at the 11 o'clock hour to win that really great prize from Logitech. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are talking to Graham Gaylord from Mega Corporations. We'll be right back with him after these messages. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Listening? This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time the Ooma Telo. Now, we're cautious about VoIP, having seen phone services that sacrifice call quality for price or international call savings. Analog landline call quality is excellent because the telco IP network is not the public internet. When we tried bundled cable VoIP, also a closed IP network, it also had good quality and a nicely complete feature package. We first encountered Ooma several years ago when we quietly sampled their call quality at the time, and yes, it sounded like VoIP. not as bad as the magical products, but recognizably less than top tier, in part because it has to use the public internet. A bit over a year ago, they worked to exorcise demons from their system and improve call quality. So after grilling a product manager at CES, we thought it fair to give them another shot. They sent their Tello VoIP interface with Ethernet in and analog phone out. Our very first tests had artifacts in the audio, sounded like frame drops. But after a call to their support number and some bandwidth and stability tweaks on their end, the quality turned excellent. With the Ooma Tello, you buy the product, then pay only taxes and fees, meaning we have the service including unlimited US and Canada calling for less than $4 a month. Bottom line, once you own an Ooma Tello, their service can offer really nice call quality and a good package of extras for less money than your kid's allowance. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Marty Winston, yet again for that News Tip Bulletin Review about Ooma. Still staring at two of them, and they are working just fine. So, we really like that product as well. But right now, we are talking to Graham here. He is the CEO of Mega Limited. And right before the break, we kind of had to cut you off. But here on the other side, it's kind of the elephant in the room. I mean, Mega has before made the news, has come across our show. First time that you guys have actually come on the show, but we've definitely talked about you guys. It's hard to think that it's been I think a couple years since everything with Kim.com has happened. So how is he doing? How is he involved with Mega?
Well, I think it's been more than 2 years. It's over 3 years. So Mega celebrated its second anniversary sort of mid-January. So and it was created. It was launched a year after the raids on Kim.com and the Mansion. Kim's a high-tech entrepreneur. He's a global entrepreneur. He helped found the company. He was one of the key players early on. Kim's got his issues that he's focusing on. He's very passionate about Mega, but he's no longer involved in Mega from a governance or a consulting or a shareholder point of view. So he's kind of like completely removed. But he's very passionate about helping us save the world's privacy, and so he's a very avid supporter of what we do, and hence that's why he comes out so often with all the cool things that we're doing and broadcasts it to the world for us. But I think there's a lot of issues there. They've still got to play out. There's no question about that. From what I understand, it's not a straightforward case. So the courts will decide what's going on there. But at Mega, we focus on being the privacy company and building a great business, and that's kind of my role. That's what we do.
All right.
The whole story with Kim.com, I mean, makes wonderful drama. It's interesting from anyone who has a kind of an eye for politics and that whole thing. But at the same time, I guess the company Mega has to keep moving, has to keep going forward, and I guess just refocus on staying private.
Absolutely. We are the privacy company, but we've got an enormous number of users signing up per day and per month.
Calling back into the live show. We are reconnecting you now.
That's okay. Don't worry. Continue on. So just a little technical glitch.
Okay.
So can you disclose how many users you have with Mega at this time?
Yeah, we've got about 18 million registered users, and we're growing at around about just over 1 million a month registered users coming on board. So.
Wow. Okay.
That's very impressive.
Yes, it is.
There is a worldwide social movement to go to more privacy-based systems, and we caught the wave at the right time, and it's really driving us along. We're absolutely massive in a few countries. I think we've got 2.6% of the population of Spain. We're absolutely huge in America. We're huge in Brazil. We're huge in Taiwan, and overall in Europe, we're very, very big. I'm
sorry.
I was going to say, are you afraid of are you afraid of too much success? Like, there has to be at some point where maybe the amount of users and then the amount of maybe takedown orders, or maybe even the fact that you guys offer 96 terabits of bandwidth. Are you guys prepared for the 1 million a month growth? Because that's a huge growth.
Yeah, we are. We're keeping ahead of that at the moment. There's a lot of things going on in the company. We're currently going through a backdoor listing process, so we'll be listed on the New Zealand Stock Exchange. So that's going on at the company level as well. So yeah, I think we've got a good team of people here, and we've got the operations crew and the executive team, and it's all working pretty well. But yeah, the growth's a bit frightening at times, but.
So how many Mega staff are there, and where are you based?
Okay, so there's about 50 staff altogether. About 20 or so is in Auckland, our Auckland head office, and then we have development teams in Salamanca, Spain, and development teams in Arrivo, Portugal, soon to move to Porto, and then we also have individual development people spread throughout Europe and South America.
Was this
we're a global company. Sorry.
Was it intentional? I mean, or did you? Why didn't you just keep everything in one place? I mean, why so many? I mean, I can understand having servers and redundancy in different locations of the globe. I mean, I understand that, but why kind of spread yourself out like that?
Well, we are a global company, and we go with it. We can get the best talent. It's that simple. There's absolutely great talent all around the world, and we have a lot of people basically writing in and saying, "Here's my skills. Can I work for Mega?" So yeah, we go where the talent is, and we go where the talent can actually pull together and build a great team. At the end of the day, we could talk about technology all we like, but it's the people that make it work, and that's what we've got to keep our eye on.
Well, what about yourself? What did you do before joining Mega?
I've been in technology. I've founded numerous businesses, but I've basically been on the internet since about 1992 or 3. So I'm an old internet savvy warhorse, and I think I've always been passionate about startups and about especially computer-based businesses. So that's kind of my background.
Okay, so why did you join Mega? What was the...
Well, I was sort of offered to look at a directorship because the company's about to be listed on the stock exchange, and the shareholders basically said, "Hey, actually, we think you've got the right skills and attributes and experience that we're looking for in a CEO, and would you like the challenge?" And I looked at it pretty carefully, and said, "Yeah, I'll definitely take that challenge." The challenge outlaid to essentially save the world's privacy and build a global business is pretty it's pretty good in my book. So that was one of the key things.
Okay, well that certainly is good. So and you've been with Mega how long now? Oh, we just dropped it. We just lost him.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Okay. Well, I'm sure he'll rejoin us. Technical glitch of some sort. In New Zealand they have these. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're back. Okay, that's fine.
No problem.
It's a long way from America to New Zealand, so.
Yes, it takes those bits so long to reach us. So, how long have you been with the company for? How long?
Since launch?
I've been with the company for 9 months.
For 9 months, okay. So what were some of the things that you when you decided to join the company? What were the things that you felt needed to change or add or correct?
Well, I think we have fantastic technology, and we need to have the ability to scale it up and take on the sheer growth of the users coming on board. So how do we actually replicate development? How do we scale up that? How do we scale up innovation from what really was a handful of people to now 50? those are the key things that we need to address, and we have done that, and we will be improving that further. There's a lot of great products that we've got planned in the pipeline, and just trying to keep ahead of that innovation trajectory, so that we can keep differentiating from the competition.
All right.
And I couldn't help but notice that when you were kind of shouting off where you have people located and where you guys are located, America didn't seem to make the cut. Did you forget about us over here, or what? Or is no one applying from America?
We haven't really had anyone apply from America.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know if you could.
There's a lot of great programmers in all America. So
yeah, I don't know
no
anything.
question about that.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other things you have here. You have something called the Mega Browser apps that actually will install Mega into your browser. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Absolutely. They're plugins for the browser to allow you to up and download faster, and also up and download larger files, and gets around some of the browser restrictions. For example, Safari's got some sort of file limit restrictions and so forth. So they're basically a plugin will allow you to work with Mega a lot more seamlessly.
Okay, and you make them for Safari, you mentioned. Do you make them for all the browsers like Chrome and Firefox?
Plugins for all the leading browsers, yep.
Right, and what about platforms? PC, Mac?
We have native applications for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I think we support about 26 different flavors of Linux.
Wow.
For native apps. So, yep, we also have a full open source software development kit. What we plan to do is open source a lot of our client technology and basically allow anyone to inspect what we're doing as a kind of an audit. So our software development kit is fully, you get the whole source code. You can use that to integrate that to the apps. We've got, for the technical people out there, we've got, all the bindings for things like PHP and Python and so forth. We also have a lot of apps for smartphones. We've got, we support iOS, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Phone. The Windows Phone at the moment has been recently launched, and it's got a mode which will be rolling out the others, which is called Celebrity Photo Mode. So when you take a photo on the Windows Phone, it goes straight to Mega. It doesn't even get stored on the local phone. So that was brought on by it was inspired by an incident that happened a few months back to one of the movie stars. So
what was that incident?
The Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
We thought, well, we can fix this by actually having the photo go directly to Mega in an encrypted fashion and actually not even store on the phone. So it's some of the interesting sort of features that we'll be pushing out.
So if they confiscate your phone, or your phone gets, if she grabs it and breaks your phone, you still have the photograph. It's already in the cloud.
It's already in the cloud. Of course, it's encrypted. You've got to remember your password or your master key, of course. But
by the way, you're one of the few companies that we've had here on the show when we say, hey, do you have a version for Linux? And not only have a version for Linux, but you have a version of 26 different distributions of Linux. Our Linux correspondent, Marcel Gagne, will love to hear that. Did you really need to make a different version for each of the distributions? I thought that if you have something for Linux, it's going to, as long as with the kernel, it's going to work with virtually any distribution.
Yeah, I think it's more about making sure that it does work and the checking side of things and tweaking it so that it does work. But I think we support both, the 32-bit and 64-bit operating system versions and so forth. So, yeah.
Okay.
We have people writing into us all the time. Can you support this version, that version? And we just seem to keep doing it. So.
Absolutely. Well, as with Mac, Mac has very impassioned users, in Linux, I would say the same. Are very, very impassioned about their operating system, and always love a company that supports what it is that that operating system. Tell me a little bit about Mega Sync Client.
Yeah, well, the Mega Sync Client is a native app for Windows, OS X, and Linux, and that's very similar to some of our competitors' sync clients, where essentially it sits running in the background. You nominate folders that you want to sync automatically to to Mega, and every file that you pop in there, it just syncs it. And so this is how people share folders on Mega. Essentially, one person will have a folder that's automatically synced, and then if another person accesses that, or, and you can define the permissions that they get, of course. Any folder or file that they drop in there automatically appears in your local folder, and so forth. So it's a synchronizing application that runs in the background transparently.
Yeah, it sounds like you have that nailed down as well. Let me go back to the Mega mobile apps. You gave the example that if you're using Mega on your smartphone and you use the camera and you take a picture, that picture is going to go, if you're using that app, it'll go right to the Mega site, won't even store it on your phone, so you virtually have unlimited amounts of photographs, because even on the biggest smartphones, you have a limited amount of memory. Now, is photography, or the camera, is one app? What other types of apps do you have for smartphones that use them?
The Mega app that runs on the smartphone, so the one that takes the photo directly and it sends it to Mega is only available on the Windows phone at the moment. But okay. All the other applications support syncing all of your local phone photos directly to Mega in a transparent and sort of background motion way, and essentially there's a lot of other features on the files that you push up there. So, for example, we invoke the Excel file viewer if you've saved an Excel file, and so forth. So the whole cloud storage drive appears on your smartphone. So if you sync something on your desktop, then the whole drive appears on your smartphone, and you can get any access that you've pushed up there. So we'll be rounding out more features on that than just straight file transfer and viewing and so forth.
What about MP3 files, like music? You have, I mean, one of Ben's complaints is he only has 16 gigs and that's it, and he wants to put 200 and some odd gigs of music. Are you thinking of putting MP3 files up there as well?
Yeah, I guess we could look at supporting that. If you can get access to the files on the smartphone's local file system, you can push them up, no problem. Some smartphones, of course, have quite a restricted access to what you can get to inside the phone, so that sort of limits us a little bit.
And also, are you, when you talking about music, are you also dealing with digital rights management again? Does that come into play? Copyrighted music.
Absolutely. We don't get many takedown notices, I understand, for music, but certainly we don't treat it any different to any other rights holders.
But I think you have the the first right? In other words, if you purchase the music, you have the right to make a copy or make a backup of it. Although if you're using iTunes, I think you can, if you lose it, you can re-download all the songs that you've downloaded from iTunes. Ben, what is that? Ben, when you have multiple music, when you buy something, an MP3 file, you have the right to back it up, correct?
Yeah, that's actually what Graham was talking about earlier, where it's not a problem when people back it up. It's when people share the public link.
That's it. Okay. Get in trouble. Exactly. All right. So, well, speaking of government, Graham, what do you think in the next few years? Do you see governments becoming more open to file sharing services that use encryption, or do you think they might undermine it, and kind of try to further regulate and monitor these?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a kind of a worldwide debate on encryption in general, and I think encryption's been around for a very long time. Some countries, for example, have it enshrined in the legislation that encryption's legal. So we see politicians and heads of agencies coming out at the moment saying, actually, we like encryption, but actually what they really mean is that they like encryption that they can get into. And so I think there's going to be a debate that's going to wage on for a good number of months, or if not years, on this matter. And it just doesn't apply to some of the stuff that Mega's doing with the cloud storage side, but it applies to, well, if I work from home, my VPN, is that encrypted or not? Can someone look at that? I think it's important to note that with encryption, if there's any any sort of backdoors put into it, then essentially that weakens the encryption and allows you, allows the whole system to become more vulnerable to outside attackers and hackers.
Yeah, if your information is safe from governments, you can be pretty sure that it's going to be safe from hackers as well, because privacy doesn't just help against, government agencies and things like that, but hey, people's information gets stolen all the time. And if you mentioned a use case earlier where people were uploading, MRI images, to share with their doctors and things like that, information that really should not be public in any sense, but they still want to share it, then you want that safe.
Absolutely, and medical records and so forth. And it goes back to what I was saying before. Everyone normally doesn't have things to hide, but there's things they want to keep private, and medical records are a good case of that.
Right. Well, let me. So we covered everything now. Now is Mega live now? Is available now? Or
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. There's two sites. There's mega.co.nz and mega.nz. Mega.nz is our beta site, which we're testing new technologies, and if people are game enough to get on there and try that, then that's great. But you'll see the latest developments from Mega coming out on that site.
Yeah, that's what confused me. You mentioned the alternative site, and you say, oh, you can try it out. But in other words, the actual Mega product is available now, but these are the NZ version is website is where you present your beta products to the general public.
Absolutely, there's a completely new web interface there. Mega Chat is on that site, so people can do encrypted voice and video calling between two parties. And that's where the new and exciting things will turn up. Eventually, we will convert the whole site over to mega.nz.
Now, we're almost out of time here, Graham, but anything else that you want to mention about Mega that we might not have covered for our listeners?
No, I think you've covered all the high spots. Certainly, those are the issues that Mega's dealing with. I think I'd just like to reinforce we are a global organisation, and we are here to save the world's privacy, and that's the cause we're going after. We're well on the way to that. We've got a fantastic, loyal community and customer base, very vocal. They give us great feedback when we do things right. They give us great feedback when we do things wrong. But it's great to have that sort of involvement with our customers. We want to keep a focus on the products and keep innovating as fast as we can, and that's a primary goal of all our developers. 80% of the people in Mega are developers, so that's how much we're spending on innovation at the moment. We don't spend anything on sales and marketing. There is no sales and marketing executive. $0 in sales and marketing for those user counts that you're seeing coming in. So all our growth is complete natural organic growth through the viral nature of what we're doing.
Eventually, you're going to have to do some sales and marketing, though, I would think, as you continue to
grow. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, listen, Graham, I want to thank you for being with us here tonight. Very informative, and again, I encourage all of our listeners to check it out. And again, you can go to the Computer America website. In our show notes page, we have a link to it, but it's mega.co.nz. Or NZ, as Graham said, and check it out for yourself. Graham, thank you so much for being with us here on Computer America tonight. It was a pleasure having you, and enjoy the beautiful day out there.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Craig and Ben, and thanks to all the listeners out there. And hopefully, we'll see you on Mega.
There you go, and I'm sure you will. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Good afternoon. Bye-bye. All right, there you go. All right, Mega Corporation, Mega Limited, actually, and you can check it out again at mega.co.nz or go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com and check it out for yourself. Coming up, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. Ben has selected some very interesting stories to talk about. And
But before we get into that, I don't know how much more time we have in the hour, but I understand my graphics card came in.
yes, it did. Ben is now the proud owner of the Titan X graphics card from NVIDIA.
Thank you, NVIDIA. We love you. You are wonderful.
And I was going to open it up because I've seen the box that it comes in, and the actual box is gorgeous, but it's inside a shipping box, and I was going to open it, but your mom would not let me go near the box. She said, "No, just put it on the desk," and so it's sitting there.
A saint, I tell you, a saint.
So it's there, so you can check it out when you get home, and which should be not too long ago. I mean, are you anticipating wonderfulness out of the box? I mean, first of all, is your Origin PC going to be able to handle it? This card.
For some reason, I've seen enough sci-fi to imagine some kind of metal cylindrical case with a top that you kind of like depressurize, lift off, and then like the graphics card comes out of like a foggy dry ice mist up, and like raises itself. Like I'm expecting that kind of presentation, just a that's what I'm expecting.
Yes, and as well you should. I think so. So we're going to have that. It is waiting for you, and if you can contain yourself, it'll be there upon your return.
Now I just have to brown nose Intel for a new processor.
That's right, or Origin PC. Maybe it's time to update your official computer of Computer America. All right, we're going to do some computer news. We've got lots of stories coming up. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. Stay tuned for Computer America, Hour 2.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we just had Mega on the show. If you missed any portion of that interview with its CEO, Graham Gaylord, you can listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com. Just click the archive selection on the top of the page, and we actually have several different things you can listen to. We have links to the Blog Talk Radio website where all of our shows are archived. We take you right to the spot that you need to be. We also have a link to Apple's iTunes. No keyword necessary. It'll take you right to the place on Apple's iTunes, actually in your browser, with the option of actually launching the iTunes application. If you want to, you can do it that way. You can listen to it in your browser. You can listen to it through iTunes. That's all available there. We have the link there. We have the RSS feeds. We have our YouTube archives. We have our own YouTube channel, so all of our videos are there. You can watch them and listen to them as well. So it's all available at ComputerAmerica.com. It's just that simple. So we're ready for the second hour of the show. Anything else before we get started with doing news?
No. I think we have some great ones lined up, and I'm excited.
All right, let's do it. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right, you heard me. Absolutely free. Everything at the slimwareutilities.com website is completely free. It's not a freemium model, not a paid model. it's free. It's just that simple. What we recommend is you download all of them. Why not? They're free. And use them, keep them when you need them if necessary. And when you do need them, you're going to be very happy that you did that, and you'll thank us for it. SlimwareUtilities.com. In our first story tonight, this from Maximum PC, Sean D. Knight. Your photos and videos stored in Google Plus are now available in Drive. Wow. He's saying it's another reason to no longer use Google Plus. Because it's hard to believe that Google Plus is still around. However, for a service that we dubbed as one of Google's failures last year, it's still kicking. Whether it will continue to exist is anyone's guess, though today another reason to use it has been removed because Google announced that photos and videos stored on Google Plus will now be available on Google Drive. Do you use Google Drive, Ben? I use it quite a bit, actually. It's very, very nice. It's seamless. It works with the operating system directly.
You know, I gotta say, I use pretty much, I wouldn't say everything Google does because Google does a lot of things, but when it comes to their browser, to their email service, to their cloud backup, to their calendar, like they have a lot of services that, especially in a business and especially in a personal sense, it just melds together so well.
Yeah, I like Google Drive because after I have a document and I want to present that document to all of our listeners, I actually use Google Drive to take that document and display it, because you can keep it private, you can make it public, or it also has an option called Anyone with the Link. And what I do is I take that document, for example, with Ralph Bond, when he comes on, he gives us these several pages of documents. I take that, put it up on Google Drive, and again, it's all seamless. It's all within my operating system. I'm not even using the browser. It's a little application that I run. And then I just say, you can share that, and it gives me the link, and then I put that link into our show notes. It's just that simple. And then when you click on it, it opens up the Google Docs document in Google Drive. And it's very easy and very simple to use and very useful. So I like it a lot. He goes on to say, he says that the new Photos menu in Drive is currently available for the web, Android, and iOS platforms, where users are now able to manage their photos and videos in addition to other types of files. Now, according to a blog post from Google Drive Product Manager, users will start seeing their photos in Drive today, immediately if they're new, and a few weeks for your entire library. He says, so give it a try and let us know what you think. His explanation for photos and videos ending up on Drive is that your experience across Google should be seamless and consistent. But Plus users can breathe a sigh of release, as he adds, Google Plus Photos will, of course, keep helping you store, edit, and share your pics. But if you want to organize all your files all in one place, Google Drive is here to help. So it seems that this isn't the end for Google Plus just yet, but will its end come anytime soon? So, well, that's the question to answer, and we'll see. But, right, it seems to me that they're supporting more and more of the Google Plus services in other products. It might make that when they have everything totally supported, you can do everything in Google Plus and other Google products, and why have the Google Plus? I think that's eventually what's going to happen. They might make it so it's just seamless. You won't even know it. You'll just, oh, where's my photograph? Oh, it's here in Google Drive. I just have to access that. So anyway, that's his point, and I agree with him.
I don't know. I think as long as Google has a viable business model, which they pretty much undoubtedly will with their AdSense and their their ad-based business, really at this point, since no one's really using Google Plus, or few people are using Google Plus, kind of hard to say when we're using Google Hangouts to broadcast to so many people. As long as they are viable, they are going to keep Google Plus around. It's obviously not taxing their service, their servers, or their pocketbook too much. It doesn't hurt to keep it up, and like I don't see a reason to take it down. Like they're not going to introduce another product that's going to be replacing it in the future, and it integrates so well with everything else that they're doing. So I don't see them going. I don't see them throwing it away.
No, Yeah.
Even if it's off to a rocket, like this is Google we're talking about. No one could be using it for a year straight. They're still going to keep it around. They really will.
They have Google has phased out a lot of products. There's no question about that. So that's
But really, they phased out a lot of products. But when was the last time you heard Google is now phasing out Google Earth because we feel not enough people are using it? Google has phased out Gmail because not a lot of people are using email anymore. Like the high profile, like pretty much if you've heard of it, odds are it's staying around. The ones that we haven't heard of, the ones that are like, really, that was a service from Google, those are the ones that get phased out.
Well, I think the Google Plus falls into that category, Ben. I mean, it's.
We've heard about Google Plus though. Everyone has.
Yeah, but I think a lot of us are kind of merging all these Google products into one thing.
I think they're integrating, but they will never replace. They're making it easier to store your files, to share your files, to collaborate using Google Plus. They're making it easier to use Google Plus, even if it looks like they're trying to shift the user base of Google Plus. They're really just making it more integrated.
All right. Okay.
So I disagree with that article.
Okay, I'll let them know.
You should do that.
Hey, it's gonna be hard to argue with you. You've got a Titan 10.
Yeah.
Titan X.
Jesus. Okay. So we are talking about all the news stories, and I'm trying to find a particular one. I think it involves Google, if I remember it. But how about this one? It was, I'll try to look for it. Windows 10 is coming very fast, probably sometime at the end of this year or late summer. And they just announced that the Surface 3, the next Surface tablet from Windows, it will be running Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
And not just any Windows 10, but a full-fledged version of Windows 10. No Windows RT, no nothing, slimmed down or reduced or anything like that. This is the full-fledged version of Windows 10 that you'd find on a desktop. Just, I'm sure, a tweak here or there to make it work on a tablet. But yeah, Windows 10 has officially replaced RT. And I kind of wanted to bring this up because, Craig, I don't know if you remember when Windows first released their Surface tablet a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I actually made the prediction, and this is a little bit of Ben patting himself on the back here. I actually made the prediction that Windows RT was not long for this world. It was a stopgap measure to get some version of a Windows operating system on a tablet because it couldn't just directly port Windows 7, and Windows 8 was still very much in beta, wasn't quite ready for a tablet-like scenario or even a mobile scenario. So out comes Windows RT. People said, okay, it's not bad, but I'm glad I said it. Windows RT will no longer be a supported operating system of Windows. Windows 10 will run on smartphones, will run on tablets, and of course will run on desktops as well. So anyone out there who put stock in Windows RT, not the best move. So and for anyone out there who was wondering, is Windows 10 going to be anything special? Yes, it'll be pretty much the first operating system that is going to run across all these platforms using the same thing. Like it's not like Craig's Mac operating system and then a phone using the iOS. It's one unified operating system, which again they were trying to do with Windows 8, but didn't succeed. So they're trying it again, but I think this time Windows 10, with everything we've been hearing about it, this could be their time to shine.
All right. Okay. And speaking about Windows 10, we were talking about last night with Mike Miller is Spartan. That's Windows 10's new browser. It's still not officially named. It's called Project Spartan, but evidently that too is now available for testing. And according to this story from CNET, the latest version of the Windows 10 technical preview has arrived, and it's offering up an early look at Project Spartan, the browser that will succeed the venerable Internet Explorer. CNET got its first look at Project Spartan at the Microsoft Windows 10 event in January. The browser runs on a brand new rendering engine aimed at speeding up performance while offering new sharing-centric functionality. The most dramatic of these changes is support for inking. You'll be able to write or type directly on a web page and share your annotations via email through social networks or by clipping them directly to OneNote. Now that is very cool. I mean, how many times have you been on a browser page and you'd like to make an annotation or something and you really can't do that? I guess it's independent of the website itself. This is a feature supposedly of Project Spartan, this inking ability. So when you see something, you can write or type directly on a web page and save those annotations. That's really cool. The build also offers up support for Cortana. Yay! Provided you're using a US version of the latest technical preview. Cortana will work to give extra details about whatever you're looking for, whether that's pulling together directions for the restaurant, whose web page you're browsing, or pulling together information you've shared with the virtual assistant to autofill your search queries. This particular build also offers a distraction-free reading view, which is something you might be familiar with if you use Read It Later apps like Pocket or Safari's Reader View. And a revamped reading list already available in Windows 8 will host everything you want to read in a single location so you can catch up at your leisure. Now, if you want to check out Project Spartan, you'll need to be running the latest version of the Windows Technical Preview. That's build 10049. Keep in mind that this is an early build. Expect bugs and missing features. It's only available on the PC version of Windows 10 and not the version available on select Windows phones. So that's pretty much it. Project Spartan is you can now available. It's testing for beta testing preview for that, which is kind of cool.
Kind of cool. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully it's everything the hype is kind of portraying to, which really it doesn't even have to live up to the hype.
No.
It just has to be a relevant modern browser. It has to be on par with Mozilla, with Chrome, to a lesser extent Safari. Like, it just has to be good enough, because it's going to ship on all these Windows 10 computers. And let's face it, no matter which way you cut it, Windows is still the dominant operating system that computers are shipped with. It just has to be good enough that when people get a Windows 10 computer, they don't immediately open up the browser and go download Chrome or go download Firefox. It has to be good enough that people can say, okay, well, it came with it, so I don't mind sticking with it, and I'll just use this until some other reason comes up. Because that's kind of what the pitfall of Internet Explorer was at the end, was people were only using it to go get a new browser. They couldn't stand the interface. They couldn't stand the slow connection speeds. They couldn't stand the lack of security. And people sure didn't like the way that a lot of web pages looked on it. They have to make a browser that's good enough.
Wow. I just got some great news in the chat room. Greg, who works for the add-on chat software that we use for so long, we had to sort of abandon it because it used Java, and that caused our system to constantly crash, and it was just bad, And I said to the developer of the owner of Add-on Chat, I said, let me know when you're going to have that no Java, no Flash. And Greg, who works with Add-on Chat, just informed me that they're just coming out of the final stages of alpha testing, and beta testing is just around the corner. So that's great news, and I certainly look forward to seeing this come to fruition. Because as much as the IRC chat room, the one thing about the IRC chat room so far, I don't think it's ever crashed on us, not once. It's pretty
much larger mainframe system around it would have to crash before add-on chat, before IRC crashed, because IRC, we're currently using a channel within IRC, which is Computer America, but IRC is much, much bigger. So we're just one part of a huge thing that is very, very obviously very stable.
Right.
So same here. I'm looking forward to seeing the new add-on chat.
Yeah.
Would really like to get them on the show after, or
Sure.
especially after the beta is released. Maybe if not after beta is done.
Yeah.
And just kind of see what's new and what's different.
Yeah. Chris Dewar, by the way, who's the owner, the developer of Add-on Chat, has been on the show before. He's a very shy guy. I don't know. He doesn't like to go on the program, but certainly get him. If not, we can get Greg or maybe Anthony. Those are the two developers over at Add-on Chat to come on the show and tell us about that. But good news, great news, Greg. Thanks for letting me know, and please keep me informed, keep me in the loop as it gets closer to a release, because we certainly would love to bring the Add-on Chat. It had so many wonderful features that you just don't have in the IRC chat room, and so that's great. Okay, Ben and I are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and we're doing different stories here. This next one here, again from Maximum PC, Sean D. Knight. Valve and HTC to let developers apply for a free Vive headset soon, quote-unquote soon. The Vive Developer Edition will be free, at least initially. Have you heard about the Vive headset, Ben?
Nope.
Okay, well, at the GDC 2015, Valve was able to impress many people with its Steam VR technology, including our own Maximum PC Online Manager editor, Jimmy Thang. Okay. To see what he thought about the whole thing. But what is surprising is that the company announced that a consumer version will be available in 2015. It is short notice for a device that has just been revealed, but that doesn't seem to bother Valve. So far, a small selection of developers already have kits, but Valve and HTC will be letting developers apply for a free Vive developer kit soon, according to Ars Technica. This information comes from Valve, the VP, who spoke to Ars Technica, saying that more info and sign-up forms will be available to all interested developers. Okay. Now, the lucky developers who get approved will receive a developer edition that will be free, at least initially. Now, it comes with a headset, 2 controllers, 2 base stations, everything you need to dive in and start creating new interactive VR experiences. How many of these kits will be given away for free is anyone's guess. But it is a different approach for Valve compared to Oculus VR, which provided early units to its Kickstarter backers and has been selling its dev kit to anyone for $350 on its website. So it will be interesting to see what developers will get the Vive developer kit and what kind of games will be developed for it. Of course, the other thing to consider is how much the Vive will cost for developers who are not lucky enough to get one for free, and what the consumer version will retail for. Okay, we'll just have to wait and see on that too. I don't know. I'm thinking Oculus Rift, because they have such a huge jump in the marketplace, and they have all that money backing them. I mean, money is one thing, but I mean, when you put huge amounts of money like that
When they jump on the marketplace, they really don't. They don't.
Say what?
They don't have a jump on the marketplace. They haven't released, consumer product number 1. They're still in development. They're still working on it. They're still getting, trying to get the technology out there. They don't have a jump on anything. If these guys are able to get it out there, they'll have the jump on the Oculus Rift. People aren't just looking for the Oculus Rift. They aren't just looking for, whatever the Steam unit is. They're looking for any kind of technology that lets them experience virtual reality.
Yeah, but remember that's the pain of early when you get something early, and that is that the newer
early adoption.
And early adoption. Thank you. Then the price you pay for that is that when the real product comes out that everybody else is going to be using, you're basically you spent the money for nothing. I'm not saying that'll happen this time, but it just seems to be the pattern.
I think if they can get it to work and they get it to work well, that'd be great. The only thing that they might have a problem with is lack of content, because honestly, the only content I've seen has been like technical previews and things like that. No real games. They did have that one movie, but there aren't really movies, there aren't really games out yet. There aren't I feel like the technology has to get into the hands of the users, and then people will start creating games for this platform. And it's not that it's hard or it's impossible to create virtual reality games. In fact, it's a whole nother genre. It's exciting to see it, at the very fledgling state. But why are you going to spend all that time developing a game if no one can play it properly? So this may be the first step into getting virtual reality into people's, well, I can't say into their hands, onto their faces.
Well, it may be. It may be. Because, again, we don't know how much it's going to cost. And these are all things that...
We have another story. I hate that I can kind of, remember the story, reading the headlines, but can't really remember which one I found it on. But apparently, PlayStation 4, Sony, they're going to be releasing a bundle with a PlayStation 4, a couple games, and a virtual reality headset.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, what's it called?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyways, I'll certainly find it here in a second. We have enough time for another story, but this story I'm going to do here is about Amazon.
All right.
You remember them? They
Yes,
I hear they wanted to play with drones for a while, but that fell through. So Amazon.
They're going to give Angie's List a run for her money?
Better. They're going to completely trounce Angie's List, Yellow Pages, anyone. So your next source for handyman services, Amazon wants to have a hand in helping you get things repaired or assembled around your house. Amazon Home Services launched Monday with over 2 million unique services, service offerings across 700 professional service types. The new service offering is made up of selected invite-only professionals who provide a range of handyman services, including plumbing, TV wall mounting, and grill assembly, along with more personal initiatives like music lessons. So for Amazon, the time seemed right for a service offering. The company says that 85 million of its U.S. customers are shopping for products that need professional services. The new undertaking puts Amazon in competition with business referrals and rating services such as Angie's List and Yelp. Amazon Home Services, which is the name, again, of the service, is launching across the U.S., but the availability of services is heftiest in major metro areas, including New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle. All of the service providers are required to maintain insurance, and if the job is not done right, Amazon said that it will work with customers and the service providers to address the problem. All pricing will be known up front, and home services will include verified reviews so users can hear from other customers on their experience with a chosen provider. The new Amazon offering is available now. Service offerings will vary depending on your city. Amazon did not immediately respond for a request. This, again, an article from CNET. So, yeah, Angie's List and Yelp, Amazon, the giant that it is, you can now tack on, services onto one of the things that you can look up there.
Do you think Angie from Angie's List, because Angie is a real person, by the way, do you think she's...
She was on the show with us.
Yes. No, she was not.
One of her representatives was.
Right.
Yes.
So you think Angie is nervous now that she's heard this news?
I've heard a lot of mixed things about Angie since they've been on the show. They've changed their business model. I actually have a friend who runs a small business. He repairs air conditioning.
Yes.
And it turns out that the first two, and sorry to give away trade secrets here, but apparently the first 2 pages, like all the reviews are completely legit. Like there's no fixing of numbers or anything like that. There's no lying to customers. But the first 2 pages of results for services in your area, those are actually kind of paid advertisements. Really? Like they're good, like they're good services and they're good companies, but they kind of say, hey, would you like to reach more customers? Pay us a small fee and we'll put you in our preferred small business section, which is the first 2 pages of results. So I'm not saying that they're fixed. It's just that like everything there is on the up and up in terms of reviews and things like that. but it's hard. It's getting harder, especially on their service, to distinguish, kind of who's there because of their quality work and who's there because they put the money forward to, get higher in the listings. So
Really?
hopefully Amazon, they kind of keep their service on a truer path of, hey, get good reviews in your area and you'll be highly recommended through their service. Like, that should be the way it should be handled.
Yeah, exactly. Amazon, it seems to me that all these large companies that are known, I mean, I remember when Amazon was just books. Do you remember when first Amazon was just books? That's all it was. And they keep, and these companies, they're expanding.
Amazon was just books, and then they got into furniture, they got into home furnishings.
Right.
Like it seems like they're continuous claws. Like they get into everything, and like I've never really heard them back out of any market.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a trend, but these larger companies are I guess, searching for more revenue and ways to make revenue, and they're branching out. They're saying, hey, if one company's doing it, we can do it better because we have access to so many more people. I mean, they're turning that attribute that they have as the resource that they have and applying different business models to that resource. And they're seeing what's out there, and they're saying, well, there's a small thing called Angie's List, and we have so many more people. We're buying all these things. They need people too. Well, let's incorporate that into our service.
Which is kind of cool, because if you're someone who buys into their ecosystem, maybe you register for Prime or you use Amazon all the time, this is value added. Like this isn't a bad thing. It's bad for other companies who are in the same market, but hey, for the end user, value added.
That's it. All right, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are continuing to do more computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We have lots more stories coming up, including, well, you'll just have to wait and find out. We'll be right back. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. Their mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Come on in. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time Kendall Howard racks. We've all seen equipment racks. We've got in some short ones from Kendall Howard with some special features and a treasure chest of accessory products. But this review needs to start with a U. Racks are wide at a fixed width, usually 19 inches, some 23, some other widths. The height of the rack itself, and the equipment that holds are defined as multiples of 1U, which is 1 3/4 inches. Most full-height 6-foot racks are 42U. So if we wanted to mount our Pioneer receiver on a rack-mounted shelf or a tray, for example, its 6.6-inch height would consume a 4U or 7-inch rack height. As it happens, there's a better answer for that. We'll get there in a few seconds. The coolest part of what we got is a pair of 8U high pivot frame wall mount racks. The ears that are on gear are screwed to the rack frame just like any other, but when it's time to reach around to the back for working with connectors, 2 side pulls release the rack to pivot down 90 degrees like an oven door. The back of everything is sunny side up, so you can do what you need to do, then swing it all back up into place. Got ear-free gear you need right here? A non-pivoting 1U extension can attach to the bottom or top of the rack frame. Attach a shelf to that extension for a piece that won't slide out when the rest pivots down. Even better, it's topless, so a 1U shelf at the top of the rack can hold that 4U Pioneer receiver just fine with no danger of it toppling. Bottom line, Kendall Howard Innovative Rack Solutions beat the heck out of the wobbly stacks most of us endure. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 34 minutes past the hour, my bad. Here on a lovely, lovely Tuesday night. Yeah, we're doing computer technology news. First hour, we had Mega Limited.
You okay?
Yeah, no. Dinner is fighting me. I'm sorry. I had like a rack and a half of ribs, and
that'll do it. Yeah.
And it is it's settling down well. Like it's fighting till the end. So
okay.
We had Mega Limited on, and a company reborn from the ashes of everything that happened with Kim.com a couple years ago. Very interesting interview about what they're doing nowadays, what they're up to, and really, really fun interview. So, of course, go check that out in our archives or on YouTube or wherever you can find one of our episodes. But yeah, right now, Slimware Utilities is bringing you computer technology news, and I believe it is Craig's turn
to do a story.
Yep.
And, this one is from Hot Hardware. It's entitled Tone-Deaf Audiophiles Defend Crazy Expensive Ethernet Cables, and they're still wrong. They're still wrong. The audio industry is filled to the brim with magical devices that are capable of reshaping the reality of those that dare tread within its realm. There is often utter bewilderment at the expressions some people use to converse with each other on the subject. What is the color of sound, clarity, warmth, coarseness? These are also the same people that will take out a mortgage to buy a sound system and even spend $10,000. Let me say that again, $10,000 on a single cable. Not $10,000
because it's worth it.
Not $10,000 on a system. $10,000 on a single cable. Yes, this is amazing. And now he goes on to say, we've been informed that in fact pricing has not changed on these cables, and you can in fact find longer lengths of up to 12 meters for $7,995. Although, as noted, shorter lengths can be had for less. Now, it's come to our attention, again, this is Hot Hardware, it's come to our attention that some people still don't understand why such a cable is incapable of making a distinguishable difference, or any difference at all for that matter, over a standard $2 Ethernet cable. So we're here to inject a little dose of reality into the situation. He says, join us as we not only disprove the bias, but also provide an educational read into why. Okay. First of all, we need to bring to light a certain article that attempts to justify the use of an audiophile grade Ethernet cable by using anecdotal evidence and measurements without regard to other factors. The article is a classic case of misunderstanding. It starts off by complaining about switch mode power supplies causing problems with RCA cables. Well, yes, they can happen. Why? RCA cables are analog and provide a direct path to the audio pipeline. Okay, they are streaming AC signals in the audible range, not digital data, which is what Ethernet cables are. But hold on a second. How can a switch mode power supply introduce audible noise? Are they not set to a high frequency above the audible range? Yes, they are, but modern electronics introduced us to the diode and transistor, which are very capable antennas for certain radio frequencies. Ever listen to a crystal radio as a kid? All that's in the circuit is an earpiece and a diode. A radio signal that passes through the diode is capable of generating audible sound. Pass that through an amplifier, and suddenly your speakers jump into life when a mobile phone is about to ring. Okay, radio emissions can come from anywhere. Okay, so now he says, why are Ethernet cable? What are Ethernet cables exactly? Ethernet cables are electrical conduits for different signals. The twisted pairs use each paired wire as the reference rather than a fixed ground, so that when an external source induces a voltage spike across the line, it affects both conductors equally. This means that both will have an increased voltage, but because they are referenced to each other and affected equally, the induced voltage spike can be nulled. Okay. Now this is a very long article here, but basically I think what he's saying, and he gives, and if you're interested in reading the article, you can see it at hothardware.com. But basically, he summarizes here at the end. He says, if Ethernet cables are transferring analog signals instead, then sure, interference can be a problem. But who would use Ethernet cables as analog conductors for audio? Okay. He said, this is so implausible, it's barely worth thinking about. In a traditional audio file server and at NAS or PC, there are many direct or indirect layers of filtering going on. It's almost impossible. Ethernet makes use of transformer coupling to eliminate problems with different ground levels, so ground-based interference is out. Okay, so basically he's saying even audiophile grade sound cards have so much isolation, thick aluminum plates, Faraday cages, filtering, audio grade capacitors, and so on, that surely somewhere something will kill that last little bit of EMI. This basically means that there are two possibilities for Ethernet-induced noise affecting audio. Something is broken or faulty, or something has been badly designed. Okay, and of course there is a third possibility. Can you say placebo? Okay, the placebo effect. So basically, the article goes to say, please, 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 don't spend $10,000 on a single cable. You're throwing your money away. It's digital. Analog cables like the RCA, yes, they're better. They wrap them with copper. They can filter out noise. That doesn't exist in digital equipment, and to spend that kind of money on cables is just ludicrous. It's just
it would be hard to fathom the feeling of when you spend $10,000 on what you think is, maybe a passion of yours, maybe a hobby. You save and you scrimp and you spend all this money on a cable, and then you listen to it and it's the exact same, and you realize, man,
I've been duped.
I could have got a $10 cable from Best Buy.
A $2 cable.
$2 cable from wherever, and it would have been the exact same.
Exactly. Yeah. It still goes on.
That's actually tragic. That it's not even like, wow, a lot of people do that. That's tragic if people actually fell for that.
Yeah, they do.
As someone who, honestly, I have family in Nigeria. All they're waiting for is a bit of money to, flee the country, and I will be reimbursed. But still, it's tragic to hear that people all around the world are getting duped like this.
Yeah, it is. Well, if you're listening to the show and you're thinking about that, please don't. You're wasting your money.
Please don't. Okay. So, next story. How about this? Cards Against Humanity. Craig, have you heard of it?
Cars or cards?
Cards. C-A-R-D-S. Cards Against Humanity.
I have not heard about Cards Against Humanity.
They were the one who last year during Black Friday, they were the ones who pulled all of their product off of their shelf and were selling cow poop. And
Oh.
yes, and yes, they were actually sending out boxes of cow poop, and they were sold out by the end of the day. So,
Wow.
and like honestly, if you bought it, you got the box, you opened it up, and it was a cow patty. So like it's one of those kinds of company. Of course, all the money that they raised during Black Friday went to a good cause. I believe they donated it somewhere. But the idea of Cards Against Humanity is you play this game with enough cards and with your friends, and you try to offend each other using the cards. It's a very fun game, and the company behind them I think is even more fun because they have a very unique way of dealing with their customers that I think their customers find partially refreshing and partially hysterical. So they're a different kind of company, but they've always, even though the name is Cards Against Humanity, they've done a lot of great things. And this is the latest one. This one from Engadget. It says that their latest expansion, because of course you can buy the base deck, and then every once in a while they have an expansion where you can add different cards to your deck. This latest one benefits Women's STEM Scholarship.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so Cards Against Humanity, the Naughty Fill in the Blank card game, launched the $10 Science Pack, an expansion offering 30 cards written in collaboration with Bad Astronomer, Phil Plait, and another Saturday morning breakfast cereal creator. But that's not the coolest part. All proceeds raised by the Science Pack will be funneled into the Cards Against Humanity and SMBC Science Ambassador Scholarship, which offers full tuition coverage to women seeking undergraduate degrees in science, tech, engineering, and mathematics.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. So applications will go live soon for the fall of 2016 school year, and each one will be reviewed by a panel of more than 40 women working in STEM fields, including at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Harvard Medical School, and the Smithsonian Institute. They have a quote here saying that we desperately need diversity in science because the alternatives make no sense. So often girls are told in both overt and subtle ways that they aren't able to be good at math and science. With this scholarship, I'm excited to get to tell a passionate girl out there, yes, what you are doing and dreaming is really great, and here's some help to get you where you want to go. So, apparently in America, women make up just 12% of engineers and only 26% of the computing field. By the way, if you think 26% is like a good number, turns out that there was one point in history where women were making up 40% of the IT field, of the whole computer science computing field. So, like, the numbers in computers are actually falling for women, not rising, because you always think, okay, women are getting a lot of support out there, things must be better than they were 10 years ago. No, women are still struggling to find ways in on these fields. So it's really cool that Cards Against Humanity is lending a helping hand.
We had Intel on our last show. Wendy Hawkins was here with us talking about this very topic, and she was pointing out, what Intel is doing to encourage women in the sciences and engineering. And
yep. So what Cards Against Humanity is trying to achieve with their new scholarship fund, they're in good company. Intel and a lot of different companies out there, they're working to help women, get into STEM. STEM is a huge part of a thriving, country, and if we can get women in there, that's a much better diverse workforce. So kudos to Cards Against Humanity.
Yep, exactly. April, by the way, is going to be is the month that Apple is going to introduce their Apple Watch. And this story from Ars Technica is talking about the gold Apple Watch edition. You didn't watch the keynote when Tim Cook talked about the gold Apple Watch? And he said,
no, sorry, I didn't have Safari.
And he And he said, and it's only for $10,000, you know. And there was a hushed silence in the audience that was normally so wildly and applauding, you know. It was like, I think there was even a gasp there or two. Yeah, $10,000.
There was a subtle echo of a woman going, oh, when she faints, and they had to carry her out, fanning her.
Right. Well, you probably already know if you're going to shell out $10,000 or more for the Apple Watch edition, because it starts at $10,000 and it goes higher, you know. I guess if you get the gold chain, the bracelet that matches, it's going to be even more.
Well, I don't know if the actual Apple Watch is going to have different, you know, innards in it, like a different processor or more.
No.
Okay, so it's just going to be like the added cost is only going to be in flare.
Gold. That's right. Aside from being made of gold, it isn't going to do anything that the $349 Apple Watch Sport or the $549 Apple Watch can't do. It's as simple as that. However, buying and getting support for the five-figure watches will apparently be substantially different. Okay, it begins with the buying experience itself. The cheaper Apple Watches will reportedly be sold using 5 to 10-minute demo sessions at tables set up throughout Apple stores. But the Apple Watch Edition will be demoed in private one-on-one sessions that can last up to an hour. Accessories and alternate bands will apparently be offered after the customers have been allowed to try on the watches. Once you bought your five-figure smartwatch, you can elect to have it set up in the store, or you can take it home and go through a virtual personal setup, video chat with an employee. The personal setup features will reportedly be available to stainless steel Apple Watch wearers, too, but only Edition buyers will get an exclusive dedicated Apple Watch Edition phone line for 2 years of 24/7 technical support. An Apple Care Plus purchase extends your watch hotline privileges to 3 years. Finally, if you live near an Apple store that doesn't usually stock Apple Watch Editions, Apple will send some over via courier so you can still get the in-store try-on experience. Alternatively, the Apple Store employees can direct you to a nearby store that stocks the Apple Watch Edition. All 3 Apple Watches will be available for pre-order on April the 10th, at which point you will be able to go to Apple stores and try them on. Rumors suggest that appointments and pre-orders will be necessary to get any of the Apple Watch variants at launch, since stock will apparently be too low to allow for walk-in sales. In-store or online pre-orders can be shipped directly to you or picked up at an Apple store near you. All watches actually go on sale April the 24th. Can you believe that? Wow.
Opulence.
Yeah, I mean, even the iPhone when it came out didn't go have that kind of a setup.
Well, clearly.
Greg in the chat room says, if it won't park my car, I don't want it. Okay. It may. It might have those self-driving cars.
Well, you know what? I think if you leave your gold iWatch in your passenger seat while your car is in drive, and if you walk away from it for about 4 minutes, I believe your car will indeed park itself at someone else's house because they will have stolen your watch and your car.
Your car, yes, exactly.
Anyway, how about this one? This just happened yesterday. I found it hilarious.
Yeah.
Nest users, the thermostat, get a chilly awakening in the UK. Jared Newman, Tech Hive, and file under first world problems because of a time change glitch in the United Kingdom. Some Nest Learning thermostats users woke up a bit colder than usual. Much like daylight savings time in the US, the UK sets its clock forward for British summertime in the spring. This year's time change fell on March 29th, setting clocks ahead of Greenwich Mean Time by 1 hour. Some Nest thermostats apparently didn't internalize the time change. Despite showing a correct schedule, some users say their thermostats failed to turn on the heat at the appropriate time. As the register points out, several complaints have popped up on Nest Forum and on Twitter. It's unclear how widespread the issue is, though it's limited only to UK users. One support representative told the register that a couple of customers called in about it, and there was not enough information to go on. So, yeah, in the meantime, one user suggested that switching Nest location to Belgium. It's similar outside temperatures, which Nest factors into its heating algorithm, and it should bump the thermostat schedule ahead by an hour. So, yeah, apparently that's it. But technology is not perfect, even though something like Nest, we talk about it all the time, so well polished, so beautiful, so amazing.
Yeah.
Even they get glitches.
They can, But they're saying don't worry about it. I mean, no one in the UK is going to freeze to death or have ruptured pipes bursting. It's not. It's just.
No, it's a minor annoyance, which I guess if you're living there in the moment and you're like, oh, I haven't had to look at my thermostat for months upon months. This is awesome. And then one day you wake up and it's like, the heat hasn't come on. This is awful. Like it's probably, like you said, it's a first world problem.
Well, we have time to do. Yeah, we do. Okay. Ben and I are doing some computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and this story here is the next Windows 10 technical preview update for phones supports more devices. Okay, from half a dozen to several dozen support Lumina phones. When Microsoft made available its first Windows 10 technical preview for phones, it only officially supported 6 Lumina handsets because Microsoft had to select from a set of phones that had sufficient system partition sizes configured by the manufacturer in order to do in-place upgrades. Well, with the next Windows 10 technical preview for phones, the mobile operating system will support a total of 36 Lumina devices. Okay, the six-fold increase in supported devices is the result of a partition switching feature that allows Microsoft to dynamically resize the system partitions of phones running Windows. This is a recent development with partition stitching code coming into Microsoft's main code branch late last week. It's since passed all quality evaluations. Microsoft said it spent the last week testing the next build on individual devices. They get a quote here from Microsoft saying, "This testing will allow us to support a lot more phones for the next flight." He says, "I get a ton of questions every day on Twitter about when your favorite phones will be usable, and I'm happy to report that the vast majority will be supported with the next flight." Okay, and then they give a list of all the different phones that and this isn't necessarily a full list. Microsoft says some devices aren't listed because of the presence of a bug which could get fixed in time for the next release. Likewise, a bug on any of these existing devices could be cause for its removable. And Microsoft is not ready to announce a release date for the next build. So there you go. So, but we don't have any phones anyway. So why do we care? Okay.
Well, yeah, beta. What are you gonna do? I think we have time for just one more story.
All right.
And this one made a lot of people angry for a very apparent reason. AT&T, their newest fiber customers have to pay $40 more than Google Fiber's users.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's no $70 Google Fiber in Cupertino, so AT&T can charge what it wants. So AT&T today, which was yesterday, launched its gigabit fiber internet service in parts of Cupertino, California, but the price isn't as good as it is in other cities where they face competition. Google Fiber and AT&T's UVerse with Gigapower compete head-to-head in Kansas City and Austin. In those cities, AT&T matches Google's $70 per month price for gigabit service as long as you opt to a program that lets AT&T watch your web browsing and serve up personalized ads. But AT&T charges more when it doesn't have to compete against Google. In Cupertino, they just launched it with a plan starting for 1 gigabyte at $110 a month.
Wow.
Or speeds up to 300 megabits per second as low as 80. And they have that at a 1-year price guarantee. So despite being $40 more than AT&T's price for the same gigabit service in Kansas and Austin, the Cupertino offer still requires opting into the internet usage monitoring. That stinks. So Google has tentative plans for fiber service in nearby San Jose, but hasn't announced a decision yet. In North Carolina, AT&T reportedly dropped the pricing from $120 to $70 after Google announced plans to expand to that state. This is pretty much it. It's wherever AT&T has their 1 gigabit service, they're charging like $40 or $50 more than Google does.
But only in places that
Google Fiber isn't at.
Yeah, exactly. That stinks.
But as soon as they do, they drop their price to be competitive. But as long as they don't have to be competitive, they can charge the up prices. And let's face it, this is AT&T. They should have the framework in place to, I would assume, buy the infrastructure for this kind of internet, get the manpower for this kind of for installing such infrastructure. Like, you would think Google would have higher startup costs because they're not really they're not internet providers by trade. You'd think one that does this as their sole point of business would have lower operating costs because they have enough manpower. Mm-hmm. But no, they're charging $40 to $50 more.
Wow. Oh, that hurts.
I know, and everyone's just thinking,
seconds.
Oh, but come on, Google, come to my city. I'm just waiting for you. So
yeah, we all are. We're waiting for you, Google. Hey, we're pretty much out of time. Again, I want to thank Mega Corporation for being with us. It was very informative in the first hour. Tomorrow night, what happened to March? It's gone. It's April the 1st. It's April Fool's Day, too. Mike Cermak from TechGuide.org is going to be here with us in the first hour. And guess what? It's also Mike's birthday.
60 seconds.
It's Mike's birthday. So it's going to be an interesting show. Mike is always an interesting guest, and he's going to even have that quiz that he does for us. That's going to be on the first hour. And then in hour 2, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Again, thank you all so much for being with us here. We enjoyed your presence, and hopefully you'll be with us here tomorrow night. Same time, same station. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody. Again, thanks for being with us here on our live video stream. And Ben and I will see you here tomorrow night with Mike Cermak, TechGuide.org. It should be a lot of fun. It always is. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.